At what point then is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of freemen, we must live through all time, or die by suicide. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. How far I shall succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. If we could first know where we are, and whither we're tending, we could then better judge what to do, and how to do it. I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. All the armies of Europe, Asia and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force, take a drink from the Ohio, or make a track on the Blue Ridge, in a trial of 1,000 years. Quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. What kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. When you have got an elephant by the hind legs and he is trying to run away, it's best to let him run. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no, man was made for immortality. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. Gold is good in its place, but loving, brave, patriotic men are better than gold. I care not much for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. If there is anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. I was born and have ever remained in the most humble walks of life. Stand with anybody that stands right, stand with him while he is right and part with him when he goes wrong. A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. Let not him who is houseless pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. If once you forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. Never regret what you don't write. I never had a policy, I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up, and shake off the existing government, and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right, which we hope and believe, is to liberate the world. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. When I am getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say and 2/3 about him and what he is going to say. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? The highest art is always the most religious, and the greatest artist is always a devout person. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed. I am rather inclined to silence. My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and is not either to save or to destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it, and if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. When I hear a man preach, I like to see him act as if he were fighting bees. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law. With the fearful strain that is on me night and day, if I did not laugh I should die. The people will save their government, if the government itself will allow them. Hold on with a bulldog grip, and chew and choke as much as possible. 77 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent, a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new at all. These capitalists generally act harmoniously and in concert to fleece the people, and now that they have got into a quarrel with themselves, we are called upon to appropriate the people's money to settle the quarrel. As our case is new, we must think and act anew. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We, of this Congress and this administration, will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance, or insignificance, can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor, to the latest generation. I can make more generals, but horses cost money. I desire so to conduct the affairs of this administration that if at the end, I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be down inside of me. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every calling, is diligence. I don't know who my grandfather was, I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. Everybody likes a compliment. I am humble Abraham Lincoln. I have been solicited by my friends to become a candidate for the legislature. My politics are short and sweet, like the old woman's dance. True patriotism is better than the wrong kind of piety. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Ballots are the rightful and peaceful successors to bullets. If you think you can slander a woman into loving you, or a man into voting for you, try it till you are satisfied. A capacity, and taste, for reading gives access to whatever has already been discovered by others. Upon the subjects of which I have treated, I have spoken as I have thought. I may be wrong in regard to any or all of them, but, holding it a sound maxim that it is better only sometimes to be right than at all times to be wrong, so soon as I discover my opinions to be erroneous, I shall be ready to renounce them. Knavery and flattery are blood relations. Common-looking people are the best in the world, that is the reason the Lord makes so many of them. Don't swap horses in crossing a stream. If the great American people will only keep their temper, on both sides of the line, the troubles will come to an end, and the question which now distracts the country will be settled just as surely as all other difficulties of like character which have originated in this government have been adjusted. It is a great piece of folly to attempt to make anything out of my early life. These men ask for just the same thing, fairness, and fairness only. This, so far as in my power, they, and all others, shall have. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved, I do not expect the House to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing, or all the other. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and to the young, it comes with bitterest agony because it takes them unawares. If ever I feel the soul within me elevate and expand to those dimensions not wholly unworthy of its almighty architect, it is when I contemplate the cause of my country, deserted by all the world beside, and I standing up boldly and lone and hurling defiance at her victorious oppressors. Everyone desires to live long, but no one would be old. I hold that while man exists, it is his duty to improve not only his own condition, but to assist in ameliorating mankind. Slavery is founded in the selfishness of man's nature, opposition to it is his love of justice.